welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today I am going to try to make yet another tube bracelet. And this is basically something that I kind of thought of when I was making the last one. And I was like, I wonder. So, um, basically, what it was bothered me, or kind of makes it difficult, like when I was doing the Nemesis one, right, is the fact that the arrowhead keeps changing the size, right? So for me, an arrowhead like this is basically my favorite, where it's got the nice little box inside, the dot inside of the box. That's my kind of go-to one. So I was thinking, what would happen if we tried to do my go-to arrowhead, but we let it stretch out the way that the elongated one goes? So I'm kind of just doing like little bits here to kind of, because it's easier, I don't have to try to fight and figure out the like where everything else is. I can come back and fix all of that. And I will come back and I will add in all of the underlying strings, because obviously that part takes up a heck of a lot more time. So let's see, green. Next I need a blue. And then I need a purple. Now, mind you, I'm just using the rainbow because it's easy. You could literally do this with any colors that you choose, to be honest. So, oh, look at that. It goes, the next one will be the red. Boop, 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 boop. So I didn't really try to kind of get it to end there. I just kind of wanted to start in the middle and work my way. So there's the orange, and then that would be the yellow. And then there'd be a red in the center of this. Let's see, this purple will come out that way. This blue will come around the purple. Cool. The green goes around that. Now, I haven't worked this out before. This is actually my first time trying a bracelet like this. So, yeah, I'm really... Yeah, so this green has to line up with this one, so there'll be a blue right there. Interesting. So now the yellow comes around like this. And around like this. So I'm not sure that this one is necessarily any easier or faster than the other, but that was kind of what had me interested, was the possibility that maybe it could be. So that's where this yellow comes to there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. And then in. So this side's kind of getting me concerned. I think it'll become, whoops, clearer once we kind of get to where we get to that. So there's a guideline over here. I don't know if if you can really see it because the guidelines are really thin, but there's a guideline there. There. Okay, so yeah, it does make a whole lot more sense now that we have gotten to this part. Do, do, do. I think that went too far. I did. There we go. Do, 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 do. So that's the orange there. This is the yellow over here. Right. Yeah. So definitely a little bit confusing, at least at this point. I'm kind of certain this shouldn't be any harder than the last one we did. Um, the one of the big differences will be that in this case, so the other one was it went down 4 and then came back 3, and this one comes down 5 and then goes back 3. So it's just a slightly mathematical change that's happening in it. Does that make it go faster? Maybe slightly faster, just because every time that you do the row with the 5 in it, there's one more knot involved without having to like turn it anymore. But then again, maybe because it's longer that you don't get to do that. Like maybe you end up having to, you're partway through the row and then you have to turn it still. So I'm not really sure if this will help or not, but it will change the overall look of the bracelet. Like you'll still have like the side where it's very much a zigzag and the other side where it's the thing, but it will look different. And that's the part that I'm kind of excited about. So and this is one of those cases where I probably didn't need to like try every possible scenario or whatever. Um, but I think it's kind of good. I think there's something fun in the notion that we're gonna experiment and try something different and see where it goes. All right, so it says blue, so that's gonna be the green in there. All right. As far as the pattern making portion of this goes, it is a little bit easier for me to see. Um, like where the box goes and things like that, and knowing that it's just endlessly doing the same thing in some aspects. This does seem to me like this is going to be considerably easier just designing it wise. Um, but again, I don't know what making it will be like. Tomorrow's video, you get to actually watch me make it, and then I will have some kind of insight, I'm sure. I don't know what that might be. This might, I might end up having more trouble with this than I did the Nemesis one. That's a possibility. I can't, I can't say for sure. So next is the yellow. Oops. Do, 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 do. Yeah, we're almost to the end of this, which is good. Kind of feels like, whoops, like this thing is taking a really long time. I'm sure it's probably not that bad, but still. There we go. So then the green comes around that, and the blue is in there. Awesome. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I do definitely have my various issues with the whole nature of doing these tubes. They take longer. I'm not 100% convinced that the people who are looking to add it, like people who don't make bracelets, that they necessarily understand how much more difficult it is. And, you know, they don't understand any kind of justification in making it the price higher for something like this. So, um, there are elements of like why I don't make an awful lot of tube bracelets. But that said, they are very nice. They are super cool. And for those of you out there who maybe you want to do keychains and that kind of stuff, I think these really lend themselves very well to that. So hopefully you guys get kind of excited and want to make something neat out of these. Yeah, we are almost to the bottom of this, which is awesome. Oh, look, it ends perfectly with the red right there. That's cool. Hadn't, hadn't really expected that, to be honest. All right, so it's just a question of where the last of these colors end up. Cool. And then this will be blue over here. And this will be blue. Sorry if I'm kind of quiet. I'm actually having to concentrate pretty hard to make sure that I don't make a bunch of mistakes on this. Um, as you can see, like when I do this part right over here, oops, right here, I'm looking at like the three that are inside, and I come in um, because trying to figure out like where this is and whatever. It's just easier when I have whoops have this part in first. And you see when I'm talking to you, there's a lot more oopses, and I'm really trying to avoid those. Well, that's neat. So that's how it ends. That's awesome. Hang on, it's why are you going off to the side there? There we go. So there's our whole bracelet. So yeah, so it doesn't stretch it nearly as far, right? It doesn't. It's like the last time the each one of the zigzags came way down. This is like half that, right? I think this is really going to turn out really, really cool. I think this is going to be a neat bracelet. I'm looking forward to it. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. This has been yeah, not that long at all. Surprisingly, like 17 minutes. All right. So, yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. And thank you to my Patreon and my YouTube members who make these tutorials possible. I, yeah, I need floss to make this stuff, guys. And yeah, that's a thing here. So, thank you guys very much for all that. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.